times ahead. A clear idea to take Hispanic rhythms and culture and transform them into mainstream global hits, to infuse the Latin culture around the world. This has been his goal. This has been his mindset. And with it, Emilio Estefan has engineered a cultural movement. With his string of #1 hits, Emilio gave America its first dose of his Latin flavor. From there, Emilio's sound invaded the Billboard charts with hit after hit. And in a blink of an eye, the world was dancing to a different beat. Emilio created Miami's own Motown. Through his record label, publishing company, and recording facilities, Emilio has developed a dynamic environment where singers, songwriters, and musicians gather to hone skills. Emilio's music has been fundamental in the development and success of many recording stars. Ricky Martin, Diana, John Cicada, Jennifer Lopez, Mark Anthony, Shakira, and others. Emilio Estefan has used his power in the industry as a vehicle to help others less fortunate. Together with Gloria and the Gloria Estefan Foundation, they have given millions of dollars to support various local and international organizations.
Nosotros tenemos el privilegio de poder ayudar y siempre tratamos de hacer lo más que podemos.
Their active hurricane relief efforts go beyond producing large-scale concerts which generate millions of dollars.
We're going to review it. I'm going to make it better in Miami. Thank you very much.
But they also personally bring aid and support to needy storm victims worldwide. Estefan's vision and generosity have been recognized around the world with the highest awards. American Music Award, BMI Songwriter of the Year, 5 Hispanic Heritage Awards, induction into the Songwriters Hall of Fame, 2 KOS Awards, 19 Grammys, Lifetime Achievement Award, Star of Hollywood Walk of Fame, and the prestigious Ellis Island Medal of Honor. Appointed by President Obama to the Federal Commission for the Creation of the National Museum of the American Latino in Washington, D.C., and by President Bush to the Committee on the Arts and Humanities and to the Kennedy Center for the Trustees. Having written and produced music for major motion picture soundtracks, got 3 minute of 80 specials, Making America, Steak, Pocahontas, Little Mermaid, The Burger King, Original Sin, Music of the Heart, Empire, Miami Vice, The Movie, and Vita, where Emilio transformed 3 classic Broadway songs into modern-day sensations for Madonna, earning her a Golden Globe Award for her performance. This motion picture experience led up to his directorial debut on his acclaimed documentary, Midas, which premiered at the Dubai International Film Festival and followed the screens of the Tribeca Film Festival in New York, the Miami International Film Festival, among others. Emilio's vision and passion has reached millions of viewers, producing high-profile and large-scale television events, the Latin Grammys, Vatican City performance, the NBC Hispanic Heritage Award, Super Bowl halftime shows, the official Christmas ceremonies of the Olympic Games, showtime specials, HBO commercials, national and televised Christmas specials, Lifetime Inventory, World Series Championship celebrations. Emilio is set to take the next step in his life, expanding his contribution by becoming the first Cuban-American minority shareholder of the Miami Dolphins, a major franchise in the National Football League. As well as Estefan Hospitality, which includes Romano's Chicken Cafe at the Walt Disney Resort and in Miami at the American Airlines Arena. Lourdes Stephen, Hotel on Miami South Beach, and across the Disney Resort, located in Vero Beach, Florida.
esfuerzos y autobiografía Ritmo al Éxito.
Rhythm of success. Ritmo al éxito.
Ritmo al éxito. Ritmo al éxito y ya está en primer lugar de Careta.
The rhythm of success is in stores right now.
So with that, I hope you'll give a warm Hispanicize welcome to Emilio Estefan.
They forgot already. One thing they forgot. Listen, I think the reason they introduced this social tape, because the other day in the airport I was running, a lady was coming with a kid, and the lady asked me, let's take a picture with me. And I say, of course. And I said, no, but I don't know how to take it. Take it with my kid. And the kid looked at me and said, who are you? I said, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Gracias. Lourdes,
Lourdes, I think you can join us now as well. Again, Lourdes Stephen, we're thrilled to have her here. She is the anchor for Univision entertainment program Sal y Pimienta. Lourdes Stephen.
Hello everyone, how are you? Good?
everybody thinks we're related, but we're not related. I wish I have this
I tell everybody that we are, so that's why they love me. So don't say that. Well, this is a great opportunity for me. I'm so excited when I was told that I was going to be here today. It's such an important event. And being here with Emilio, somebody that I really admire. And you've heard so many things about Emilio. But he's not only the entrepreneur, he's not only the man behind the success of Lourdes Stephen and other artists. I would like to say that he is the definition of innovation. That's who he is. He's an artist, he's a writer, he's a producer, you've seen that. He owns restaurants, he owns hotels, he owns a recording studio, he even owns a football team, for crying out loud.
Well, a little piece. No?
Oh, a little piece. Look at that, and he's my uncle.
You see, I got lucky.
Well, that part is not entirely true, but you know, Stefan, one letter.
You never know.
Well, maybe 3 letters, but who's counting, right? It doesn't really matter. But I wish I would be.
Now, my question is, if I be broke and I be like sort of homely, do I still be your uncle?
Yes.
That's good.
You have to see the way he treats Lily Stephen. She's like the queen. And I would love for him to be my uncle, but I am very proud that he's my friend. And he's somebody that I really, truly admire. Emilio, and everybody knows all these things about you, but today we're going to pick your brain. We want to decipher which were the steps that you took in your life to make this success of who you are. They call you the Latin Midas king, King Midas, because everything you touch turns to gold. How do you do that?
Well, I don't know about that, but I can tell you, I think being a childhood, I was an immigrant. When I left Cuba, I was 14 years old. I think they teach me to be hungry and to never take freedom for granted, never take family for granted, and never take the chance to be able to work and live in a free country. And we was talking about, behind stage, and, I think a lot of immigrants has a lot what I have. Deciding to leave Cuba when I was a kid, and telling my mom, 11 years old, that I wanted to leave Cuba to be sure that I have the opportunity to live in a free country, make me a man overnight. I mean, overnight, when I told my mom I want to leave, because I feel that's the only chance. I'm the last link to have a chance you guys to live in a free country. And I spent almost 11 years of my life without my family, and that teach me a lot of things.
I remember that. I don't know if you had the opportunity to read his book, The Rhythm of Success. I had the opportunity to do it, and I will never forget the first sentence in his book, which is, I lost my childhood when I was 11. And when you read through that chapter and the introduction of that book, you say that you took control over your family. And he was 11 years old. You took control of your family and you took responsibility with your father. Because before he came to Miami, you had to go to Spain, and you were homeless in Spain.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that moment when you left the airport in Cuba, when you said goodbye to your family, when you said goodbye to your grandfather, which was the last time you saw him. How was that moment for you, for a kid, only 11 years old?
You know, I think like me, a lot of people in Miami relate to that because a lot of us tend to be the pants, a lot of, came to, live in Cuba, being a Cuban American. That time in Cuba, but I can tell you, believe it or not, kids know what's going on. And I saw one day my mom crying with my dad, and I said, we're stuck in the communist country, my brother's stuck in the military age, and now Emilio's going to be now for another 12 years. We have to stay in this country, we will never be able to leave Cuba. That night I cried all night, I told my mom, I need to leave. And you said, what you say is true. I mean, the minute that I decided that, my mom said, we probably will never be able to see you again. And I said, Mom, I'm the only chance you have, you guys to get out of Cuba. And I made that decision. I became a man overnight because I felt like the whole world was in my back. I said, something, I have a big responsibility. And I became really, believe it or not, I felt like an old man when I was 15 years old because when I left my mom in Havana, I was crying the plane all the way to Spain. And arriving to Spain at like 1 o'clock at night, we got there with my dad, and I started crying in the big corridor, and he was crying. I said, Dad, I made this decision. I don't know if we'll be able to see my mom again or my brother or anything. And he said, everything will be okay. To tell the story, many years after, probably 42 years after, I was coming from Prague. I was coming with Gloria, my kids and everything. I started working with Spain. Everybody was waiting for us there because, it was the record label, promoters. And I started walking, and all of a sudden I told Gloria, I need to step for a couple of minutes. And I started crying. It was the same corridor that I walked 42 years before with my dad. Wow. And that's when I saw my kids smiling, I saw my son, and everybody was ready to come to be a very successful tour. Right away, I clicked in my mind and said, so I really did the right decision. And sometimes you have to make decisions in life that it's tough at the beginning, but in the long run, paid off to have to see the vision, to have something more long term.
Wow, that's a great story. And I also remember an anecdote right before you left Spain that you were sick. You got sick in Spain. And thanks to a priest, you were able to have a home and to have some rationed food, the same food every day.
Yeah. Listen, a lot of Cubans went through that. We used to go to a church for lunch every day, and you just wait outside with the tray and just to get whatever they served you.
Because you couldn't work.
No, they will not give you no visa. So I think, something, all that makes me a happy person.
What happened in the hospital? Tell them the story. Okay, he gets sick. He was 14?
14. I needed to have a small operation. And my dad said, we should do it here because the government will pay for it. We're going to the United States. He said, Dad, I don't want to be in the hospital by myself. And I said, well, something, we have to. So I remember I stayed in, he checked me in around 4 o'clock. I went, it was a hospital with a lot of beds. And, I fell asleep, and like 11 o'clock at night, I wake up, and I see a guy dying next to my bed. I stand up and left the hospital. I said, I'm not staying here. So my dad almost killed me.
And that's part of taking responsibility for your actions. You said there are things that an entrepreneur should have to become successful. I want you to mention a couple of them, but I want you to stress why taking responsibility of your actions is so important, not only as a human being, but also as a businessman.
Absolutely. When you are an entrepreneur, you have to love life. You have to wake up in the morning and think that you're going to do something positive in life. You have to have responsibility. I was telling you, to me, what the important thing about entrepreneur is that you're going to start something and you're going to end something and you're going to finish. Because that's key. A lot of people say, I'm going to do something, I'm planning this, but at the end they never do anything. So it's important when you're going to do something in your life as an entrepreneur, it's important to know that you have to start something and finish something at the end. And you have to do a lot of research for that. And I've done that all my life. I don't like to announce things, and I don't like to do a lot of things if I don't do all my homework and I do all my planning.
And that's part of the keys of your success. I also remember that you've always told us that people around you, that being positive, it's something that you learned from your father, and it's something that has opened so many doors for you.
Absolutely.
And you were able to turn any negative situation into a positive situation. Can you mention to us an example, a tangible example of what happened to you, and how were you able to turn around?
Well, a lot of things. My dad won the lottery 27 times. He was the luckiest guy in the earth. He said, I want to die with a pair of shoes and one suit. And he died with a pair of shoes and one suit because he gave away all his money. And he said, money is not important. It's to be successful in life. Success is when you're happy. I see a lot of famous people, a lot of rich people that they're not happy. I'm the happiest guy. I just did 2 miles on my bike. I talk to homeless, I talk to everybody. I'm the happiest, I'm telling you. Even if I lose whatever I've done in my whole life, I still be happy as long as my wife is and my family, my kids. I don't want anything else. I will, if I have to work again, I will do whatever I have to do. But I think it's important to, to have that thing in your mind that when you wake up in the morning, you say, everything is going to be fine. I'm healthy, I'm ready to work, and I think that gives you, the rest of the day, everything will be fine. If you wake up in the morning and you say, everything's not going to work, I don't know how it's going to happen, then things won't work. So whatever I do in the morning, I say, thanks God, and I say, thanks that I'm alive, I'm healthy, and something, let me do, and let me work.
Do you think that besides being positive, which is beautiful to believe that once you wake up in the morning and you have this positive attitude, things can change, and things can be better in life, and things can be better for you in that day, but what else do we need?
Well, you need a lot of things. You need to be professional. You need to be innovator. You need to bring something new in life. That's definitely key. You have to come out with something that is definitely is something unique. Not try to copy anything anybody's done. Even I did a speech like probably 18 years ago in New York, and I said, it will not be no more public funds. People was laughing. I said, no more Polaroids. It's not going to be. It's going to be the thing that you'll be able to buy everything online. And people thought I was totally crazy. So in order
people thought you were crazy because you said that things were going to change.
It's going to change.
And what has happened in your eyes?
Well, something else, it happens because realistically, being in a record business, I was the president only for 14 years, and I remember when the downloading situation of music came out, I got a meeting with all the Japanese people, and Tommy Mottola said, Tommy, this is going nowhere. We're going to lose the whole music business. I said, well, realistically, it's going to take a long time. I said, no. People too smart. Say, whole generation now, they're really into doing computers. They know about downloading, and something, we won't lose that. And we lost the record business. Right now, it doesn't matter if you have the #1 worldwide. You don't sell anything. People download for free. And when you have a real hit, they only download one song, and they pay minimum. So realistically, because of that, it's important we have this kind of conferences because the internet is going to play, and communication in the future is going to play a key, especially for bilingual people. People that knows both languages, because we have a lot to offer to the world. When we started our career, I went with Conga many years ago, and remember that I was almost brought out of the building. I said, this will never work. You have to change your name. You have to change your look. You cannot have an accent. I said, I cannot lose my accent. That's who I am. And realistic, something? It's a proven fact that now with the internet and communication, you can show whatever you really want to show without anybody telling you that you cannot do that. You go online and you can show whatever you want. So I think we're living in incredible moments in our life that I think a lot of TV is losing a lot of ratings because of that. The past used to be maybe two networks, 3 networks, 4 networks. But besides the networks now, we have internet. A lot of the upcoming kids, they go home and they don't want to watch TV. They go on internet and they want to see everything on communication happening on the on the phones. And they want to know exactly what's happening. And I think the whole business is changing drastically. And I think a lot of the upcoming kids definitely taking advantage of that.
Several years ago, when that started to happen, and the record labels were really affected, you were affected by that. So how do you turn that negative into a positive?
Well, I'm going to tell you something. The first thing that I did is I got a meeting with all my employees, and I told them, listen, this business is going down. We have to reinvent ourselves. I want to go into television, to films, and I do a lot of believe it or not, I do a lot of the things that you see in TV commercials. I film and produce. I work with a lot of big corporations as a consultant, and we didn't fire anybody that was in my record business. I removed them to different positions. Put them maybe in promotion hotels, maybe now in the film company. It's easy to complain. Say, well, this is done. This is sometimes move, and shows get cancelled because it's normal after you have it run for a long time. How you can go to another show? You have to reinvent yourself. And that's being innovative. Reinvent yourself. Think outside the box, and that's what you've done in your life. Listen, including with your wife. I've been married for 36 years. And still I thank Glory every day that I love her because something I don't know if it's the last day I'm going to see her. That's beautiful. I give an applause for that for all women. That is beautiful. How do you do that? Marriage by itself, it's hard. Marriage is hard, and in this industry,
married for so long, and you have one of the most stable marriages in the industry. What's the secret? How do you do
Two
it?
secrets. You tell yes to your mother-in-law and to your wife, everything the same. You have no wrong with that. And then you work it out. And you say, yes, baby, don't worry about it. Is it true or no? And besides, I'm going to tell you, women are more intelligent than men. I said that for many, many years. I hope that depends on the setting.
Another thing about Gloria is that when you guys got together and Kid Miami's a machine, and you guys got married, and you decided to let her shine on her own, and you were like not her shadow because you were the one that pushed her and designed her future with her talent. But that's really hard because you're both extremely successful in the same business. How do you accomplish that?
Well, I think in order to be happy in your marriage, you have to let your wife do and shine and do what makes her happy. Definitely you have to do that. On the same time, I supported her and she supported me. I produced, probably the more beautiful women in the world. Madonna, Shakira, Thalia, Jennifer. And she let me do it. She said, please go and help them. It's great that, the Latino market is opening all over the world. And Gloria was very open to let me do that. And I always congratulate about that because, it's nice that she's about. All the women could have said, oh, don't go, don't do that. All this sound is going to be for me. So I think she's a very secure woman. And, I'm the same. I was last week opening the stadium here, and Gloria was having a big concert in Mandalay Hotel. So, we have different careers. And the end is respect and love. I think we all, 2 kids, immigrant kids, that went through a lot of things in our life. And, we accomplished a lot of things, but we never forget where we came from. I think that's important.
It's important.
Yes.
And to be able to give back. I don't know if you guys know Emilio, but he is one of the persons that he gives the best advice. He is always available for people when they come to him for advice. And you always give back.
You know why? I'm going to tell you why. When me and Gloria started, we didn't have anybody to go for it. Because people say Latino market will never work. Your music will never work. This business, I remember when I opened Larios in Ocean Drive, they say, Cuban restaurant in Ocean Drive, you're totally crazy. People, still, 21 years, still, we get sold out every single night. So don't let anybody tell you what you can do. Do what you feel is right for you. On the same time, listen. Now you have a lot of expertise people, you have bilingual people, you have a different generation of the Hispanics. They are well educated. But when we came to this country, we didn't have anybody. Nelly, is it true or no?
It's true.
Yeah. I remember Nelly talking to him many years ago and said, what should do? Do you think a network would put anybody who was Hispanic on national TV? That would never happen. It was very limited. And now when I see everything happen with Latinos, even me, I'm working with Glee now. And you saw Ricky Martin, Gloria's going to be in Glee now. It's going to have probably Pitbulls coming now in Glee. And then, yeah. And you know something, the thing is, it should be fun. I admire him a lot. Pitbull to me is one of the kids that I see him grow, and something, he never forgot where he came from. And he works. Everything he has, like Sofia Vergara and him, I always feel proud of them because, they've done a great job and they are great people. They deserve all the success that they have.
Wow, I'm happy for all of you. One of the things that nobody can take away from you, nobody ever, is that you were the person that was able to do the crossover. You were the one. When you didn't have a mogul, like Quincy Jones once said about you, you didn't have somebody to follow. You were the one who believed in your dreams, and you didn't take no for an answer. And you opened doors for so many. Now Sofia Vergara is in fashion, J-Lo is in fashion, Zoe Saldana is in fashion. But I know that in the back of their heads, they're grateful to you because you were the one that broke that huge wall that was put in for us. Do you think that things are easier now in the way that I do know that you at this day continue to push Latinos, to put them in TV shows, but not as the maid. No, as professionals without the stereotype.
Well, it's a lot of confusion, number one. But I'm going to tell you, when we started many years ago, I took some time to Santana, Feliciano. It was so hard for us because the first thing they tell you, you have to change your name.
You have to change your name.
Your name. You will never be able to go there. You have to change your look. And you know something, take your last name. I will never take my last name of my dad or my mom because I was proud of that. I'm proud of what I was born in Cuba. I never forget that I was born in Cuba. I still fight for the freedom of Cuba every single day. Like everywhere around the world, I talk about the human rights that happen in my country. I still, until the day I die, I will work on that. But I'm going to tell you something. It's one thing I feel proud of our career, me and Gloria, that we didn't change our name. We didn't move from Miami. We always feel proud to be Latino, and we love this country. I think we live in the best country.
Latinos have changed these days. I know as a fact that you suffer through a lot of discriminating situations. How did they change your life? Can you tell us, can you share with us one of those very hard situations that you went through, and how did that change your life? And how does that compare to today?
Let me tell you, hate always going to be there. People are going to love, people are going to hate. Concentrate in the love, forget about the hate. One of the things that impressed me when I was a kid, never forget, I saw a sign in a house that said, no pets, no Cubans for rent. In Miami, many, many years ago, probably some people remember, when we started, they didn't want to rent the house to a Latino. Nowadays, we're a big minority. We prove that we love this country. I always say, 9/11, doesn't matter where you came from, we all cry for this country because we have a lot of respect for the United States. And we want to pay back, definitely pay back the love that we have for the United States.
Do you think there's still discrimination in the state?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. Always going to be discrimination, doesn't matter against African Americans, Latinos. And my message always been, doesn't matter where you come from. You can come from Mexico, from Puerto Rico, from Dominican Republic, you're Cuban. Doesn't matter where you come from. We have to be one solid family. And whenever they affect one person, we never work. We have to.
So what I'm gathering from your response is that basically that negative, that thing against Latinos, you turn it into a positive, not even looking at them and focusing in the positive aspects that you had in life, the people that did believe in you, the people that gave you a hand when you were growing up and you came to this country. And that's one of the qualities that you have, besides being able to diversify. When we're talking about diversification, we go through life having maybe a goal in it. But is there a clue in our lives that it hit us, that we need to reinvent ourselves? Is that a moment in life that you say, listen, what can I do to make it better? Is there a moment, did it happen to you?
It happens to me all the way, still happening. I still wake up in the morning and say, what am I going to do next? This is not over. Everything I done is a reversal. I'm still going to do till I die. I'm going to keep doing things. I'm shooting a big movie next year. I'm doing a whole TV series. I just finished Biggest Loser. But at the same time, I'm going to tell you, my book, Realistic, was very much everything that was negative in my life, I converted to positive. And that's the message we have to send to a lot of people in the world. And I get letters from all over the world. Many times, I produced probably 43 events in the White House, 6 different presidents I produced, events for the White House. I produced the 3 Olympics that I produced, and co-produced, the Super Bowls. And Realistic, every time that I'm ready to open something like the Olympics or the White House, I knock myself and say, oh my God, I can't believe as the same kid that is still hungry, I was almost homeless many years ago. I hope my career can be an inspiration to a lot of new generation that if I did it with all my limitations, they can do it now. And I think we have the best time to do that, all the Latinos.
So depending on your situation in life, you reinvent yourself. Is there a shortcut that you can tell us as Latinos, as entrepreneurs, or as professionals? Is there a shortcut for us to reinvent ourselves, to rethink differently?
Well, 2 things: education.
Education.
We didn't have money to educate. I was telling you about when I went to my music teacher, I was 18 years old, and he told me, you're too old. You will never be able to making music, make your living making music. And I won 19 Grammys. So,
yeah.
I think the reason is one thing, you have to be hungry. I think Latino people have a lot to offer because we're hungry. We want to prove the world that we can do it. We have the best time. They're opening the doors for us more than ever in the world, in commercials and movies. Even that is a lot of wrong message when you see Latinos in a movie and they're housekeepers or prostitutes. I want to change that. I want to be sure they show the talent of the Latino woman, especially in the United States. And I'm working on that really hard because it doesn't work.
As an entrepreneur, you have many companies. We know now, we've seen it all. But you always have something in particular that you always keep it in the family. You don't believe in partnership with other people or joint ventures? Is that something that you have as your own? Why do you always, or the majority of it, keep it in the family?
Well, I don't like partnerships. That's my first thing. I think you should be your own company. If you do partnership, you have 2 different ideas. So you can have hire people to advise on everything, but I like to be definitely, even now that we have 7 restaurants, different hotels, and the music business, we have almost 4,000 employees. I want to tell you, 97% of the people that started with me is still with me. The same waiter, the same chef, the same people in marketing. And even the people that live like George Placencia still work for me because still, and I have to pay him now, so I'm lucky with that. And he's still part of the member of the family, which is great. I mean, I don't know what I call anybody when people have great opportunity, when George got a great opportunity, George, go and do it. I did it already. I supported him, and I've always been a big supporter. And most of the people that even work for me, that has the biggest opportunity and they have to do something better, I think Estefan Enterprise has been a great base of family values and work. Because we still work. I mean, night and day we work, and I love that. I always say I'm going to die. If I want to be happy, I'm going to do things that have to happen. I want to die with a project that I'm going to be doing at the same time that I'm almost dying. And I want to die around my family, because that's for me will be the nicest thing that will happen in my whole life.
When you talk about, you have a lot of family values, and one of those things that you mentioned, it is true, because as I know that as a fact, people that work for you love working for you. For people that own businesses here, or they want to own businesses, what is the key to make your employees love you? Because not everybody loves their bosses.
I'm going to tell you something. You have the same thing. I have respect for being poor. I have respect for being rich. But the thing is, you have to respect, for people that want to work. But to me, with the key elements is communication, and it's one word that is key. Thank you.
Thank you.
Most of the people in business, they never say, you did a great job. It's okay. I mean, I remember when 9/11 happened, I met with all my employees and said, listen, we can expect to have raises, at least for 2 or 3 years, because, business is changing. But you have to have communication. I still meet with all my waiters and the restaurant and say, what's going on? How we can make things better. Most of the problems with with employees is you have to motivate them. You have to make them feel they own a piece of that work. Even they're not your partners, they're really your partners, because the company does well, they're going to do well. And like I told you, to me, a key word is that you've done great work. Thank you very much.
There's a difference for you between motivation and inspiration. Can you share some light to us of what do you mean by that difference?
Well, it's a big, both are combined. But I can tell you something, you have to have a little bit of both. But inspiration is something in life you have to have. Moving yourself and having that spirit to wake up in the morning and say, I'm going to do something new, I'll be able to do it. You have to do it. Never limit yourself to box yourself. I think that's key.
If you can mention a few of the key elements that made you successful, in a way that we can all rely to them, how can you tell this audience, how can they be successful with the resources that they own, or what is it that they need to improve to achieve the success, the rhythm of that success that you already achieved?
Well, it's a lot of elements in order to be successful, but one key element is respect.
Respect.
Motivation.
And
I think, for me, personally, I always say that my biggest production is by my family. I think that's important.
What is the rhythm? How can we find the rhythm of our success, like you did?
Well, waking up in the morning is the key. To wake up early. I wake up at 5:10 in the morning.
So you have to wake up early?
You have to. Because if you wake up at 11 o'clock in the morning, the race is gone. And believe it or not, I wake up, I always do my right feet when I come out of bed. Never with my left feet. I'm very superstitious.
With your right feet?
Always. And I say, everything will be okay. My dad taught me that. In that corridor many years ago, when I was having the toughest time my whole life, he told me, everything will be okay. Even he passed away, he taught me that doesn't matter. It's nothing related to health issues. Everything will be okay. And everything is going great.
And your mother taught you, among other things, that anything was possible.
He told me, don't be afraid of anything. Just do what you have to do it with respect. I still think about my mom and my dad every single day. And to tell you the truth, the luckiest things, my dad and my mom, for me, I think my biggest reward and award for me, that I was able to buy the house next door to my house. I be able to be every single morning with my dad and lunch for so many years. That for me was key in my life.
Wow. Let's talk about when you wake up in the morning with your right foot. Okay, I read sometimes in the back years ago that when you wake up, another thing that you do is that you cook breakfast for your daughter.
Yes.
Is it true?
Yes, true.
Do you still
No, now. I mean, no, she lives in Boston now. She got to be in Berkeley. But I used to take, even at 2 o'clock in the morning, at 6 o'clock in the morning, I used to take my daughter to school. I used to cook because my daughter eats rice and steak and everything in the morning. So
you cook good?
Yes, of course.
Do you invite people for breakfast?
Of course, anytime you want.
You heard that. You all heard that. What else do you do in the morning? What's a typical day for Emilio Estefan?
Well, I check all my messages, call everybody. I go through my list. I do a list every night. I go A, B, and C. A, things I have to do right away.
Very organized.
Oh, absolutely. Everything is extremely organized. And then I get on my exercise. And and then I go to different places like the beach, restaurants that we have there, and then I take my bike. I go for my bike ride every single day.
Is exercise important for you?
Yes, because that makes me happy. Go outside and be in touch with people is important. A lot of famous people, they don't want it. Everybody tell you everything is fine, everything is fine. Some of the homeless people see me in the morning, they call me Santa Claus. Because of the white hair.
What's left for you? What do you want? You're always constantly reinventing and doing things for the future, and you're always thinking you're gonna make a next step. What is left for you? Because I know as a fact that on his way here, he closed a big deal in the car. Tell them.
Well, 3 years of work. You know something? Make other people happy. That makes me happy. Give it support to the new generation, especially the immigrants. To me, it's important because I feel that I was blessed in many ways. Be sure that my family is healthy and do new things. I want to be sure that the rest of my life, whatever happens, I want to be sure that I work to make the image of Latinos better and better. Understand that we love this country, that we came to work, and we don't take freedom for granted. I think I want to spend the rest of my life. That's what I'm in the board director of the Kennedy Center, the Smithsonian, on the Statue of Liberty. I'm lucky enough to be a Latino, being there. As a matter of fact, the first day I walked to the Kennedy Center, all the old people, they was even looking who was coming. I came with my briefcase, I put the briefcase there. It was Condoleezza Rice, the Kennedys, and everything. I was probably, I think, the first Latino who was as a board member of the Kennedy Center. Of course, like 20 minutes later, all the waiters are Latino, and they came with a Cuban coffee. Hey man, who's got your coffee? What happened? So you look and say, who's the guy?
And that's something that you do. You help people in an individual way, but also you do it in masses because you have an extraordinary access and higher powers in the White House. And it doesn't matter which party is in government. You have that access and you have that power in politics, and you are always using the politics to help everybody.
You know, people always think that I produce 60 presidents, that I'm Democrat, Republican. I'm not Democrat, Republican. I'm independent, number one. But number two, my party is immigrant issues in the States, human rights in the country, and love this country. I think that's my principle. I think people need to understand. Every time I go to the White House and I meet with different presidents, I talk about the future of Latinos, how we can make things better for this country. And I think that's the reason they kept calling me for advice sometimes. Not even with the president, sometimes without the president they come and I got the love that they ask me of the elements. So that's definitely my things that I love to do.
And you have to love what you do when you have to do what you love.
Absolutely.
That is your motto. Say
Yes.
no, take no for an answer. Be positive. Think outside the box.
Love life.
Love life.
Yeah, love
That's-
life.
that's-
Life can change in a minute. It was a proven fact when we had the accident, 22 years ago. We was in the White House the day before, and I was in the big dinner in New York, and when Sony bought the Columbia pictures. And the next day, they told me Gloria will never be able to walk again. No more kids. You know something? And Gloria told me, it was going to be okay. As long as you're okay, my son is okay. And we got Emily afterwards. She'll be able to dance again. So I don't have a reason to complain in life or anything else because I have a very healthy family. I've been an immigrant that achieved all the dreams. And the rest of the things that I want to do in life is, like I told you, keep helping a new generation to be sure that, if I did it, they can do it.
That you are still, to this day, with who you are, the same boy that was 11 when he became a man, when he took the responsibility of taking care of his father, when he had the vision and that ultimate goal to reunite his family and be together with him. You're still the same person that is humble, you're still a dreamer, and above all, you're still an achiever and an innovator. And I think nobody more than you could have and deserve this Latinovator Award today.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Another round of applause for our Latinovator lunch guest of honor, Mr. Emilio Estefan. Amazing job. Okay, as we roll into these next panels, I know a lot of you have been asking about where the next stop is for you. We have quite a lot going on.
You don't have to get in there like a...
Let me do a quick rundown
like he's,
for you.
I don't know, 50 Cent.
3.0, great digital case studies is happening in the plaza, 4 and 5 on the 5th floor. The red carpet rumba is happening right now for Latino entertainment. That is in the junior ballroom on the 5th floor. Super Online Moms is happening. What you need to do is tap into the power and interest of the Latina mom. That is happening now in the junior ballroom B and C on the 5th floor. Go Make Alone, rereading the distribution deal is happening on the 4th floor. Close the air. Let's Armstrong Revolution concerning Hispanic is happening right now.
Estamos aquí paseándolo bien. Welcome.
Gracias, muchas gracias. That's it, homie.
Awesome.
Yeah?
It's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, who's better? Okay, tell us, who's better? Him or Andy Garcia?
Oh, that's a tough one. But I like him better because he remembers me, so.
Oh, so you're friends.
Yes, we are.